lot of the content that I have in the presentation will answer some of your questions. And if they're not there, I'll just go over them as well. So this is the agenda for us. You know, we're talking about refugees in Australia. I noticed there was one question there: why does Thrive exist? We'll give you an intro to Thrive. Also, how can Thrive assist, and who's eligible, who can become a Thrive customer, and the Thrive loan, the actual loan itself, and what we have done so far. Background, Australia gets about 19,000 refugees every year. And so you can imagine in the last 10 years, we've had almost over 250,000 refugees in Australia. The majority of those refugees end up into Sydney and Melbourne. So 65% of them end up in those two areas. Recently, the government has put a sort of they've changed policies. They want a lot of the refugees and immigrants to actually go into the regional area. So that percentage might change as we move forward. And we are looking at the moment the area to expand into the regional areas outside Sydney and Melbourne. What are the things that most refugees and asylum seekers face when they first come to Australia? Obviously, two major things. A lot of them come and they want to start working, right? So one of the major hurdles for working, it could be a language barrier, their qualifications, they're not approved in Australia. Majority of the time, people ask, or organization will ask for local experiences. And these people just arrived in Australia will definitely not have local experience. So I experienced this myself. I came as a skilled migrant to Australia over 30 years ago. And I remember the first interview, the first person I spoke to, I arrived on Thursday night, 9 o'clock on Monday morning, I made my first phone call to get a job. And the person who answered the call, he said, well, when did you come to Australia? I said, on Thursday. He said, you've been here for 3 days and you're calling me now? I said, yeah, what's the problem? I want to get a job. He said, well, call me in 3 months. And then I didn't realize it was actually a recruitment agency. I didn't know. And funny, after getting the job, I got a job within 2-3 weeks. I had 30 interviews in 2-3 weeks. So after 3 months in the job that I was in, I was supervisor in that area, and I needed an engineer. So I put an ad in a paper, and guess who called me? That recruiter. That was the first call I got. And I said to that recruiter, call me in 3 months. But that's the same. If you're hungry to work, you'll find work. But that's another story. So they're socially isolated. They're also economically isolated because you know, they don't have money. A lot of them coming here, being refugee and asylum seekers, don't have cash to start their own businesses. So they find themselves isolated, they can't work, they're sitting on the door, the government's supporting them, and they're wondering what can they do. So we have, and this is what happened to a lot of, almost most of the people that arrive in here. We have some who come where they have English background in terms of they've learned English in their country and they have some qualifications approved. They'll probably find jobs fairly quickly, but not too many of them. So this is why Thrive exists. Is basically what we wanted to do is offer these people some alternatives to start their own self-employment, to actually own their own businesses. Because what we found in a lot of these refugees, most of them own their own business in their own countries. And actually, in fact, to start a business in their own country is a lot easier than to start a business here in Australia. In some of those countries they come from, they can say, look, I want to start a hairdresser salon business. So they'll walk down the street, oh, this is an empty shop, we'll stop there, open the door, and they start doing the business, conduct their businesses. It's it's a little bit different here in Australia. So that's the sort of thing is one of the things that we want to help them to do. This is, okay, so what is the aim of Thrive? Knowing these facts in the background, Thrive, we had 3 people who started Thrive, Neutron, who's the executive director at the moment, and Anna Curtis and her husband. They came together and decided, okay, how can we help refugee and asylum seekers in Australia? Now, Neutron is himself a refugee who came by boat from Vietnam, and he was 2 years old, and he came, his father trying to find a job here in Australia. Wanted to start his own business. He did 2 businesses and failed because he didn't get many support. And then he ended up working as a factory worker for 30 years. So Hugh, when he finished his studies here in Australia and done a few jobs, and he started his own businesses, and now he owns Australian life insurance in Australia. So he's done very well for himself. And that's his heart, is to actually help people who come to Australia and need that little push or that little support. So Thrive came about. They've registered Thrive in as a non-for-profit organization. It would give you sort of to be able to support people. It's not about gaining profit, because all the profit goes back into the operation of the business, and also to get a lot of supporters to help in that area. So it was registered in 2016. It started operation in early 2017. We started producing the first loan in April 2017, and I joined the company in May 2017. So I've been with the company now. I'm the eldest sort of person in the, not in terms of my age, but in terms of how long I've been there. So we tried, when they first started, they approached, they didn't want government support, so they approached all the business corporations, different business or corporations that they've had a connection with. John Curtis, I don't know whether you've done some research around him, but he's he just retired. Actually, he was the chairman for Allianz Group, but previously he was the deputy chairman for the Westpac Group, and Anna Curtis was part of the NLA board, and he was, he still is the CEO and chairman of his company. So with the connection that John has and Anna and Hugh, they were able to tap into large organizations here in Australia, such as Westpac. You've heard of Westpac? It is the actually oldest continuous company in Australia. Westpac, talking about old companies, but yes, Westpac is actually the oldest company in Australia. And they approached Westpac, and Westpac liked the idea, and then said, look, we're happy to give you a loan with no interest to be able to support, to be able to provide to the refugees and lend them the money that way. And Allianz Group obviously supported our company with pro bono sort of services, and other group, and I'll talk about them a little bit later on. So Thrive, when they started, is we looked at what's available, who can actually use our services, who would want a loan to start their own businesses from those refugees and asylum seekers, and how many they are, and where they are, and all of these things. And from that point, they decided we can be based in Parramatta, because a lot of the refugees that come to Sydney and asylum seekers end up in the western sort of corridor or western suburbs of Sydney. And Parramatta seems to be a good place to be in the center of that. And when we looked at Melbourne, we found Melbourne. There's I'm not sure whether you're familiar with Melbourne, but in Melbourne there's a group called AIMS who actually help settle a lot of refugees in Australia, and we are based in their building in Melbourne. We started working here in Sydney when we first started with a group called SSI. SSI, the Settlement Services International, which also are, they get the funding from the government to help settle refugee and asylum seekers here in New South Wales, Sydney, New South Wales. Okay, the aim of Thrive is to help to start or to start for the refugee and asylum seekers to start their own businesses and to be able to economically integrate as well as socially integrate into the Australian community. Okay, these are some of the Thrive supporters. If you look in here, some of the people who provide pro bono partners when we first started, and some of them are still doing that. And then these are the supporters, the major donors that give into the operational side of Thrive. Westpac is providing the loan that we give out to our clients as loans, but the operation side is supported by individuals and individual foundations. Okay, they're the ones that are supporting us on the ground. We also have a lot of organizations support us on a pro bono basis that provide services for us for free. Could be insurance, could be Equifax. I don't know whether you've heard of Equifax. It's a credit, every person in Australia who are borrowing money or doing something in finance, their name gets recorded in Equifax, and you're given a number of some sort where all other financial institutions can look at that and say, oh, he's a good person or a bad person. KPMG, we get a lot of accounting support from KPMG. Obviously, Westpac. We also get staff that work in some of these companies that actually provide pro bono support outside their normal job as volunteers as well. And that's how it started in the beginning. Now, when we first started, we decided, okay, how are we going to reach out to these refugees and asylum seekers? Well, we're only one company, and we had 3 staffs when we started here in Parramatta. How are we going to reach out to those thousands and thousands of people? We don't know any of them. So we looked in the market and said, who's supporting these people in the first place? I mentioned the word SSI, but also there's the other groups. I mentioned AIDS, and there's a lot of community, migrant community centers that actually support a lot of refugees and asylum seekers, and they're distributed throughout the regions, so to speak. And in Parramatta, for example, there's the Community Migrant Resource Center. They're based here in Parramatta, and there's others similar to that in different places, some in Bankstown, Liverpool, Fairfield, all of those. So we approached them. We went there, we did presentation to their staff and talked to them about what we do and how we can support and provide the refugee and asylum seekers another avenue for them to start or develop employment for themselves. And then we teamed up, we realized because we want to give business loans, and we don't have collaterals, so we don't know these people. So what we want to do is work out a way to lend them the money. And if you go to any lending institution, and if you're trying to borrow money for a business, there's a lot of things that they will require from you if you want, as you know, even a business 103 years old, it's very hard to get loans, right? So it's not an easy thing to do. It's not a personal loan. It's not a loan based on a mortgage on a house. So it is a loan based on a person, on the character of that person, and the business idea. So we needed to have a cash, like a business plan and cash flow. That's a must to understand what they're trying to, what do they have in their head, right? Now most people don't know how to write their own business plan and cash flow. So what do we do? Well, we have to have a lot of volunteers to help them do that. And we also find out that there are some, there's a government program that actually can assist with that as well. And one of them is the NEIS program, N-E-I-S. This NEIS program is one of the eldest programs the government has in Australia for people who are on Centrelink benefit who want to transact into starting their own self-employment. And the NEIS providers, what they will do, they will take this person on board and help them develop their business plan and cash flow and actually support them for 9 months of actually the same Centrelink benefit. It doesn't matter how well their business grows, even if they can turn over $1 million a year, it will not affect their NEIS payment for 9 months. So we thought, oh, this is great. A lot of people can fall into that category because most of these people are not working. So we keep up with some of the providers in the NEIS program, and we refer people to them, and they refer people to us from those who are working in that environment. We also looked at the Business Connect, and I used to work with Business Connect. These are advisors who help people who actually in their businesses, whether they're starting up a business and make connection within the government, within other organizations, within business chambers. So we work with them as well to help some of our clients to develop their business plan and connection around them. And then, of course, we can't forget the universities. And one of the best partnerships we've had is with Western Sydney Uni. We've worked with Sydney Uni, we worked with the others in TAFE as well. But the program, and this is, I was in one of those meetings, and I met Dr. Yu, some of you would know him, and I told him what we're doing, and I said, well, I need a lot of volunteers to be able to help us develop these business planning cash flows. And I said, I threw a word there, and I said, can we use some of your postgrad people to do it? And he thought about it and said, leave it with me, I'll get back to you. So he went along, I'm not sure, he discussed it with some of you guys, and came back and said, look, we can do it. And we can put it as part of the program in there. So we've had, since we started this partnership, we've had over 50 students coming through this program where and each student can help, depending on whether they want 1 quarter or 2 quarters, but they will help in each quarter. They'll do actually a business plan and cash flow for one of our clients. And that's where Kathy came. He went through that program, and he will do a master in business administration, and he did that, and then I'm not telling you what to do, but what he did, he said, Gus, I finished the program, and I did what I did, but I'd like to volunteer with you guys beyond that. And I said, well, so come on board. So he came, he was giving us some of his times on a weekly basis, and I know he will do another job. And then when the opportunity came and we had the position, we invited him in. He said, yes, I'm happy, and we're happy, and everyone is happy. And we love his work, because he comes from that sort of area. And also, from a corporation perspective, Westpac, and we've got Macquarie and St. George, and now we're in discussion with 2 other groups now, and Suncorp. They both are interested in what we're doing and doing some auditing on us to decide how they're gonna dish money to us to be able to help our clients. And one of the key areas for us at the moment is the expansion, because some of the funding that's going to come from NAB and Suncorp will help us to expand into the regional area. Like I said before, the regional area is the first step for us, and then we'll be moving into Brisbane, Adelaide, and Perth. So how can Thrive assist? Obviously, developing business plan and cash flow is important, but more important than that, the person who's actually helping our client needs to understand the industry. let's say someone wants to do paint job, right? We have a lot of painters, by the way. That's right. And in the construction industry. So the person who's helping develop a business plan needs to understand the trend in the construction, understand what's happening in the construction in general, understand the rules, regulations, who is the connection, all of that. So there's a lot of work to be done, and that's why with the postgrad student, it's excellent experience for them. They get into it and get to learn more about the industry. They'll become the expert in that industry within a few weeks. And help the client to write their business plan based on that, on some facts, and then do some research. We've had, I know, and we'll talk about you, Kartik, that's okay, because you're here. I know, Kartik, we had a client for him who wanted to buy tailoring business, and he was looking at a shop in Chatswood, Westfield. And I know Kartik spent days and days there. He was just watching to see a number of people walking in around that shop, how many people coming in, how much money they're spending, etc. So we can assess the value of that business, whether it's worthwhile for that client to buy it or not. And for that case, we found out it wasn't worthwhile for the client to buy it. That was the recommendation. So it's not always that we get them to do what they want, but also sometimes to help them to not to go into a business that's going to fail. So that's one of the areas that it goes both ways. So understanding what they need, like an ABN number, as simple as that, ABN number, whether they need to register for GST, what GST, some people don't understand what GST is, and why they need to register for GST. And they think the GST money is their money sometimes, so we need to explain that it's not their money. And also understanding a bit about cash flow, what that means, money coming in, money going out, there's expenses, etc., and all of these things. So it's more of an education as well around that. Some of them, they're brilliant on what they do, and they could be masters in their trade, but sometimes we know being good in one thing doesn't mean you can be good in running a business. And the other way is true as well. You could be great in running your business, and you don't know how to trade. And so we say, well, you need to do a bit of experience here in Australia to be able to do that. A lot of people come to us and say, I want to open up a coffee shop. How much experience do you have in a coffee shop? Yes, I do the best coffee for my wife and my children and everything else. That's great. So have you experienced any work in a coffee shop here? No, but I can do a good coffee. Ask my friends. They all tell me I do good coffee. That's the sort of things. So we always recommend go and do some experience here in Australia, even whether 3 months, 6 months, even if you've had experience outside Australia in the coffee. It might be different here in Australia. So just get them to not just we can't lend you because we don't have the quality, we're not there or whatever. And even if we find that we can lend them the money as a person, or we may have the equity or whatever, we still put recommendation, because the idea is not just giving out money, it's to actually get them to be able to get into a business, but most likely they can succeed. As you know, you've probably done some research about small businesses here in Australia. The majority of the small businesses in Australia, they fail in the first 2 years. Did you know that? Okay. So we are in a high-risk, high-environment area at the moment. Okay. And some of the people tell us we're in our honeymoon period because we haven't had the failures that most people experience. But I can tell you that also we have a lot of rigid policies and the way we work with these people. That a lot of people, when they go into their businesses, they don't consider it as simple as a business plan, as simple as doing research in their industry. So we lend the money. That's our core business. Is give them money, and then we'll talk about the loan itself. And we don't finish there. We offer post-loan mentoring as well, and that's free. we don't charge for that. And that's also, we have volunteers who provide that. We also have what we call Thrive Connect. We started this last year, where we have sessions. It's actually in some of these rooms in here, and we invite our client, we invite volunteers, we invite everybody, and we educate them on specific topics that they might need, like social media. We'll get a guru in social media and talk about it. And they can talk among themselves and connect with each other. We had one brilliant sort of business. He sells furniture online. And I remember every day, every time he comes to every Thrive Connect, he's got all these cards, his business, his brochures, etc. Yeah. And he goes to everyone, and he's doing very well. He started operation in a garage, and he's got now 5 garages, and now he's looking for a warehouse. So it's just growing slowly. It's just online business, okay, in the furniture. You think furniture, you need to have, a place to operate from. It's a neat thing. So it's just the energy about the person and what they want to think outside the square. And actually, he said, if it wasn't for my mentor, I wouldn't be where I was. So obviously, the mentoring process for him helped him a lot. And that's actually, it gave him ideas and connection as well. Okay, how does the process look like? How do we take a person on board? We have we have online portal on our website, and there's a button there that says apply for a loan. Okay, on our website. You probably have seen it if you checked our website. On that, apply for a loan, it takes you into a page where you can apply directly on the portal itself, or you can download the form. It's called Expression of Interest, where you can actually fill it out, sign it, and email it back to us, or you can apply directly online. Once you apply directly online, that portal is linked to our Better Impact software that we use internally. It comes as an email to us and informs our BDM team there's someone who applied online. And the BDM team, we have KPIs. Even though we're a non-for-profit organization, we still work with some KPI. And our KPI is we respond to that client within the 36 hours. Generally, we measure in our response is less than 36 hours. So we respond to them straight away. We respond to them, and our KPI is to try to meet with them within 7 days from when they apply. So we're trying to meet them, and our first session that we have with them is we have a list of questions we ask them. Remember I said we don't know these people, and they're not known in Australia because they don't have credit history. No one knows them. So we need to get to know them a little bit better. We need to ask a few questions to understand, okay, why they're here, why they want to start their business, what sort of experience they have, what connection they have within the community, how stable they are, all of these things. Get to know the character of that person. Because this is the person we're going to be working with for the next 3 years plus. So we just need to know them a little bit more. So our BDM team will sit down there, a list of questions, over 30 questions. And then based on that, we say we credit score them. We score them in there to decide whether we want to work with them or we don't want to work with them based on those scores. So once we decide we want to work with them, obviously we want the business plan and cash flow. In majority of the case, I think we only had 1, maybe 2 people who provided their own business plan and cash flow, but majority of them, they needed help. Okay, so we either refer them to the NICE program, and if they don't qualify in the NICE program, then we have to do it ourselves for them. And hence, this is where our volunteers, our business volunteers will come into it. And then we team them up with a business volunteer to help them develop their business plan and cash flow. Once that comes to us, plus whenever you apply for a loan, business loan or other loans, there are other paperwork that we would require, other documents that we would require. such their IDs, IMI card, their visa, all of these things that we need. Now, if their visa, because we work with people who don't have visas here in Australia, or what they call bridging visas. Bridging visas, that means their visa is undetermined yet. They may have applied for a protection visa or shade visa, what they call safe haven visa, but it's not determined. We still would work with these people as long as they have a guarantor. Because just in case the government decides they're not going to accept their application, so we need someone to be able to pay for it. But other than that, we would work with them. Okay? Doesn't matter what visa they're on, as long as they have work rights here in Australia, we would work with them. So once we get their referees and everything else, then, and we think the business plan makes sense, and the cash flow makes sense as presented, that we accept it, then we'll decide to apply for the loan. Okay? At that moment, then we can apply for the loan and we send it to our credit department. So we have the business development team and we have our credit department, which are at arm's length because they can't be together. They can't be reporting to the same person either, because we needed two different views of the business. Now the credit department will look at it and will assess all the paperwork that we submitted to them on behalf of the client. And they'll look in there and say, yes, no, we need more of that. Oh, can you explain this to me? And because after the royal commission last year, we had to prove that we are responsible lenders, even for asylum seekers and refugees. So one of the things we do at the moment, which we didn't do when we first started, is we actually check their bank statement. And if they are spending $25 every week on certain thing, we need to know why and what is it for. And these are some of the remnant of what's taken place after the Royal Commission. It's not just us, it's all the banks do the same thing now. So there's a lot of sort of questions about their how they spend their money, why they spend it, why they need the money. There's a lot of question goes into that. Now, once the credit department are happy with it, it goes to our credit committee. And the credit committee is formed of some of the people on the board in there. So the credit committee is the one who will decide, yes, we want to lend to these people, or no. Based on the recommendation that gone from us to the credit, who also obviously agree with everything we have said, then the credit committee will look at it and say, yeah, it makes sense, no, it doesn't make sense, can you give me more information, or no, we don't want to deal with that person. So they have the final say in the loan process. Okay. So if they say yes, what we do, we obviously, with this paperwork, we get them to sign, which is what we call the loan documents. We get them to sign that, and we release the money, depending. We used to release the money initially when we first started into their bank account. Go into your bank account. We believe you, we trust you, you're going to spend the money exactly how you said in your business plan. Majority of the cases happen that way. Until once, one of the client, I don't know, he wanted to be more entrepreneurial. He took the money and went to the casino. And gone. So we had a problem. So we decided after that, and then the Royal Commission started to come into it, we decided we don't release money, all the money, to the people directly, even though it seems reasonable that way. And now what we do, whatever they want to buy, if they want to buy a car, fine, we'll pay the seller. If you want to buy an equipment, no problem, give us the invoice, we'll pay the seller. All of these things, so we pay directly, and then if there is any money left, we'll transfer it into their account. Okay, so that's the thing that we do, the process of the lending. Who's eligible? Who can actually apply for the loan? we said they have to come to Australia, or have come to Australia as refugee and asylum seekers. They could be here for up to 10 years. They could now become Australian citizens, but we will still work with them because they came as refugee and asylum seekers, as long as other banks will not lend to them the money, or the bank will not provide the same services that we do for them. Okay. Now we have worked with people who have been in Australia for more than 10 years, some of them 15 years, and we have one applicant that's actually now been in Australia for 20 years, and we are looking into it, whether we'll help them or not, because he said the bank will not lend me money on a startup business. But that's normal, right? We said yes, we will accept that reasoning, because they came to Australia as refugees, they've been working in the industry that they're working in, and now they decided they want to start their own business, and it's very hard for them to start. So also they have to have come to Australia as refugee, but also we have another category, if a person is sponsored by a refugee, and then when they come to Australia sponsored by a refugee or asylum seeker, their visa will be under a partner's visas, not as a refugee. But because they're sponsored by a refugee, we are happy to work with them as well. We consider them refugees. They need to be above 18, so we can't lend money to people under 18. And there's no limit on the other side, as long as they can work. Right? And they need to have work rights. Obviously, the government will say yes, they're allowed to work in Australia, and have no negative credit history. And this is something we found that some people, when they first come to Australia, they don't understand the concept of not paying bills. And they think, oh, if I move house, the electricity company will not chase me or will not know where I am. I don't have to pay them, or the phone company, I just use it, that's not my bill or whatever, and they run away and they don't make payment. What happened, it goes onto their credit. Now we've had occasion where a client realized that was the case, and we told them to go and work with a provider and pay them off, or have a plan to pay them off, and we were still happy to work with them because they did not know. But if people knew, then it might be a different story. And it had to be only for business purposes. We've had clients who said, oh, I need to buy a car because I want to take my kids to school or whatever. We can't help them with that. And we've had people who said, I want to study because I want to get my studies here before I can start my own business. Unfortunately, we can't help them for education purpose. So it's only purely for business purposes. And it could be a viable concept, so it's a concept. And a startup, people who started their business and they've been in it for a few months, we still work with them. And we've had existing businesses that have been running for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever number of years. And then now they want to expand, they want to grow, they need help, or whatever might be the case. They need money to, pay for a new machinery, or a new van, or something to that effect. We're happy to help them. They need to have sufficient English. And what I mean by that is enough English to run their business. Some businesses need very good English. Some businesses don't need a lot of English. For example, if you are opening up a kebab shop in an area like kebab shop, Arabic kebab shop in an Arabic area, how much English do you need to speak? Enough to conduct, to be able to connect, electricity, telephone, whatever might be the case, how to order what you need. These are the things, that's enough English. On the other scale, we've had clients we had actually one solicitor. As a solicitor, we expect them to speak good English. And actually, we worked with them. He actually studied here in Australia, at a different university, and he started his business. He needed money to open up his office. We helped him with that. He's got an office in Melbourne, and now we've got 3 solicitors working with him, and a receptionist, and doing quite well. So, but he speaks very good English. And ethical businesses. Banks will not lend to non-ethical businesses, so we don't lend to non-ethical businesses. And one of the things, what do I mean by non-ethical businesses? People only deal in cash. You know, what are some of the, like the brothels sometimes? Although now we do other things, okay? Also, businesses who deal with transferring money overseas. A lot of the banks now will not touch businesses who are transferring money overseas because that's with the anti-money laundering sort of came into effect recently. A lot of these banks will not lend to that. So any business who transfer overseas, we will not lend to. We've had a few clients who had supermarket and they had transfer of money. We transfer, or what's called different transfer that they have there. And we said, no, sorry, we can't lend to you because of that. What is a Thrive loan? Okay, now we lend up to $20,000 as initial. Actually, now we've taken it up to $25,000, and we are working to expand that. But up to $25,000 on special occasion, we will lend. The interest rate is 12.5% variable. Now, when I say 12.5%, people might say, "Whoa, that's a lot." Remember, this is unsecured. If you compare our products with the bank's products, first of all, the banks will not touch refugee and asylum seekers. Secondly, they will not lend to startups. And thirdly, when they lend to businesses, their interest rate is a lot higher. Some of the interest rate can start from 15%, can go up to 50%. So this is the comparison product. Now, also, let's say on a $20,000 loan, our terms is 3 years. So they repay us. We disperse the money this month, let's say today. They will start the repayment 30 days later, next month on the same day. And the payment will be $668 for over 3 years. So they will repay us over 3 years, $24,080. So the interest on that, on the $20,000 over 3 years, is $4,080. Now, if they're making more money and they want to pay it off early, that's fine. There's no penalty for that. And then actually they can pay less interest. And we've had clients so far, over 20 clients, that actually paid off their loan with it. So they're doing very well. We don't, obviously the loan repayment is principal interest. There's no deposit, no fees. So people who don't have any money whatsoever, we still work with them in the business. And there's no fees. If we say we're going to lend you $20,000, we actually give you $20,000, not minus, fees, application fees, and other fees. There's nothing of that. We're just everything. No previous credit history, so we're not looking at credit history, and no early repayment penalties, obviously. And I said we need a guarantor required where insufficient visa tenure, and this is what I talked about before about the bridging visas. Okay, people who have bridging visas, it's not limited. We don't know whether the government's going to accept it. And by the way, Thrive is not a political company. So we're not saying here we want more refugees in Australia or we want less refugees in Australia. Thrive would work with only the refugees that have been accepted by the government. And that's it. Okay, so we don't take any political views. Although individually we might have our own views. And sometimes it varies between us and different people. I know my views are a little bit different from my colleagues in Melbourne. Okay? But we still work together as one team. Our impact. Any question so far? All good? Okay. What we've achieved as of 31st of December 2019, we've lent 184 loans. So we've supported 184 businesses. We were working as of 31st of December 590, but we've received 1,100 applicants. So 1,100 expression of interest we actually received. And obviously, not 590 we were working, now we're working with this because we worked with some of those because we didn't have a lot of resources to actually cater for a lot of these people. We've lent about 3.1 million, but they've created over 200 jobs within that period. Obviously different suburbs in New South Wales and Victoria. We've had 128 volunteers working with us. They're not always working with us all the time, but they come and go. And they've been excellent. We couldn't have done it without them. Recently, in the last couple of months, we've done social impact studies. We had INCAS in Western Sydney University research department in here did this and worked on what we have been doing in the last 3 years and what impact we've had with our clients. And this is the result. I'm just giving you the actual end product of it. For every $3.70 for every dollar that we spent into this operation, the economic value was $3.7, and the social and economic value was $4.80. This is just for the last 3 years that we've been operating. I was gonna run this. Is that okay if I run it? This is one of our clients, and let's see if we can hear it.
I'm Kinan Al-Harari. I come from Syria. I have been 1.5 years in Australia. The war forced me to leave my country. I come to Australia with my family, my wife and my little boy. I did course for driving instructor and I got the license. After that, I established my driving school. My business is very successful. Thrive is a great organization because they helped me to run my business. No one gave me loan because I'm new here. So when they give me loan, I bought my car and start my business. Also, they give me a mentorship, and I have now a mentor from Thrive. When I need anything, when I stuck in somewhere, I call him. In 1.5 years now, I have my own business, and I have client, and my client is very happy.
Kinan is actually very busy. Every time I talk to him, I'm very busy at work late a week. I don't know what to do. I'm looking, maybe he might be looking to buy another car.
Welcome, and thank you very much for agreeing to become a volunteer.
As our chairman.
Thrive is a charity which has been set up to help refugees start and run businesses in Australia. We provide mentoring, funding, and also advice on how you can start a business in Australia. We help get refugees off welfare, and so we save the government enormous sums of money in welfare payments. And in addition, we allow people to start businesses which employs more people, which contributes to the tax revenue in Australia. And most importantly, we help refugees feel as though they belong to this country.
Thrive work really resonates with my values, and as a former refugee myself, I really wanted to be part of Thrive. So when I heard there was an opportunity to be part of Thrive, I was super excited, and I think it is just fantastic to be part of the team. I'm part of the business development team, and we mainly look after our applicants and asylum seekers from a relationship management point of view, and we also manage our relationship with our volunteers. As a small not-for-profit, Tribe needs the help of volunteers to be able to provide those services to the large number of asylum seekers and refugee clients that we have. We won't be able to achieve what we have achieved if we did not have the support of our volunteers.
My work as a volunteer at Thrive involved the preparation of a business plan, which was tailored to the loan applicant business needs and aspiration. The business plan included market analysis, customers analysis, as well as cash flow projections. My experience as a volunteer has been fantastic. Just being able to use my skills and knowledge for such a good cause and helping people achieving their dreams has been so fulfilling. If you stop and think about it, you can change people's lives, and that's so powerful.
I'm not going to run this, we have a few videos. Okay. These are some of the businesses as well in here. This group of three sisters, they have a sort of hair salon in North London, not far from here. They started, they obviously come from Iran, where they had a business, because their parents had a business like that, and they worked in there. So when they came in here, they started working from home, but they needed a place to actually have a place for them to work on, and this is what they've done. This is their place. It's really a nice place if you go to it in North London, if you want to do it. It's a good place. Jamie is a sign person. He does sign writers. Also, he had 10 years experience in Iran. He came in here and he wanted to start his own business, and he needed help with a push. And actually, his place at the moment is in Maryland. We helped him to actually open up the shop there on Fifth Street. He's doing extremely well. He's working with a lot of our clients as well, the new client. Recently, it's actually on Saturday, we had a client that actually opened up an art class. I didn't put some of the photos in here, but he did the signs for her and gave her a good price too. But they look fantastic. He's very busy as well. When he started, he was on his own, and his shop would be, when he goes to install the signs, he actually had to close the shop. And when I go there and say, how do you close the shop? You're in the middle of Maryland and here, you're closing the shop, you don't have, and he said, I'm just busy on my own, I can't afford a person. And I can tell you now, he's open now for night. He's got a person there, and he's got a person to help him in installation, and he's growing very well. This person, was, he's actually an Uber driver. We do have a lot of Uber drivers. And you might think, okay, what sort of simple business that people can start with? And we find Uber driving is probably the simplest business, because to actually drive an Uber, what do you need? You need a driver license, and you need a car, and a phone. And most people will have their own phones. So, all they need is a car, and that's where we can come in. And they have their own businesses. And most of the Uber drivers we have are doing very well. As long as they put in the hours and making the money. That's some of the client. We have some of the franchises. Different franchises in June's meeting. June's got detailed in that one. Okay, we can understand what the franchise is. Okay, now that's some of the franchises we have. Okay, well, I do have a photo of the actual place. Okay, it's a really nice place, and they do a good job. I haven't done mine yet. Yeah, that's Jamie. And yeah. Any questions? No question. Yeah.
Can you comment on the motivation for starting the organisation as a non-for-profit as opposed to a profit generating?
Dealing with refugee and asylum seekers, right? You're not going to make much money out of them. So, non-for-profit is the only way you can go with that. And you have to have motivation to help. But doing these things, you can't make money. And if you look at the hours that we spend for each loan that come out. You'll be surprised how many hours we put out on time as a staffing time, and the time that volunteers put in there, and the support that we provide. There's not much fun. That's why the social impact in terms of the return of money, it goes there, not from our perspective. The profit is not with us.
A lot of small businesses fail, especially from the startup. Have you had very many that have actually failed, and it's quite a risky thing when collateral doesn't really exist?
Yes, like I said at the beginning, we were very trusting. We believed in what people told us, and that's where we failed. Not them. We failed. We learned a lot from that. So even though the failure was within what we had budgeted for, but we didn't want it to be there. We wanted to be less than that. And so we looked at those ones who failed, and we said, well, what can we learn from that? And one of the areas when we dishing out $20,000 to a person, and we're trusting that $20,000 that will do the right thing, majority will do. But for those ones who fail, some of them actually didn't do it for the right reasons. And that's where we learned, and now we find our failure rate is a lot less.
So what are you doing with those people that can't repay your loans, the ones that fail?
Well, we work with them, okay? We're trying to work with them, first of all, to see whether they can get up on their feet. That person, I can tell you, couldn't get up on their feet. He was disheartened, he failed, but he failed himself, right? So, and he didn't want to continue with his work. He said, I just he told me he's going to hospital to see a psychologist and all of these things, so I'm not sure whether that's true or not, because I wasn't there, but we lost contact with him, and we had to write off that loan. So that was a loss. And remember, we have to return that money back to Westpac. So whenever we write off the loan, it's coming out of the loans that we took from Westpac. That's why we have the percentage there, that's 12.5%, so we can recover some of those losses.
When we look at the financial statements for Thrive, right, it's actually 90% of the income is from donations. So, and that's fully covered with 50% of employee expenses actually be around 50% of total income. So how the donation is quite fluctuating depending on the business and the donors. So how do you ensure and grow this income and to sort of make sure Thrive is long-term financially sustainable?
Okay, it's a good question there, right? How do we maintain longevity, 103 years? Right? Not sure whether we got that far. First of all, donors, when we ask for donation, normally the major donors, they commit for 3 years. A lot of the donors, the foundation here, they commit for 3 years. Also, they commit for projects that you need to deliver. We need to. When we ask for donation, we say we want to do, let's say, a certain number of loans. I know when we started and when I was given the job, they said, can you achieve 40 loans in the first 12 months? And in my mind, I'm a business developer myself, salesperson, my background, thinking 40, we could do that in 3 months. I said, we'll look into it, we'll see how we go with that. We were able to achieve 100 loans within the first 12 months, right? Now, our donors were expecting us to do 40. They're not expecting us to do 100. But also, the quick growth comes with pain, right? So we had to readjust, we had to work at things, we had to actually go back to our donors and say, look, we need more resources. We can't do this. And that's why we had 128 volunteers in a very short period of time, because we needed resources to cope with that growth. Now, as you grow, we can always ask, and now we're going to the second wave, now we're sort of passing the 3 years. We're going again to our donors, existing donors, and other donors. And now I told you that we've got plan for expansions. So the expansion comes with donors. We'll say to some of these donors, we want to grow into the regional area. Okay, and they'll say, well, how many loans are you going to be doing? How many people are there, etc. So at the moment, we're in this space where we're doing assessment into the regional area, into the other state, to see how many can we do, what resources we need to have to get donation to help us with that. Now, also we've done some modeling on how far down the track we can go where we can be self-sustaining. We don't need more donors after a certain period. And obviously we've done the modeling on that based on the 12.5% interest rate that we're charging and the failure rate of a lot less than that. Then we could be self-sustaining if we get to the point where we've got 600 to 700 loans. Okay. At the moment we have almost 200 loans. We need to work around that. So in the next 3 to 5 years, if we continue on the same pace, not faster, we could be self-sustaining. Any questions?
Do you get any support from government?
Okay, that's a good question there. We don't get any support from the government at the moment. It doesn't mean we're not going to go there, because the government have asked our executive director to talk on a new project to actually support refugee and asylum seekers. Because at the moment, currently, the way the government helped refugee and asylum seekers are through different departments. One department support them with money, another department support them with skills, another department support them with housing. So they have all these different departments that try to help these people in different ways. The new minister came up and says, why don't we disjoint them with these people? And the same person is going to all these different people and getting different support, probably sometimes from the same support, but going to a different department. Why don't we coordinate this? And one of the area, because they saw what we're doing, why don't we introduce self-employment for every person that comes to Australia? So they're aware that we exist. So there's an area now that they're talking about that we will be telling people as they walk into this country, you can work, find a job, or you can be self-employed, and these are the people to talk to. So we will be on the radar for a lot of these refugees from the outside.